When it comes to cycling performance, power is pretty much everything. And from a physics point of view, power is simply the product of force and velocity. From a cycling perspective, force is the pressure you can apply to the pedals, and velocity is how fast you can get those cranks moving. So the key to getting faster has to do with how much force you can apply to the pedals and how quickly you can turn them. Riding fast is nothing more than being able to turn a big gear at a high cadence. There are many different ways that cyclists can develop a greater force, but the one that I'm going to focus on this winter is weight training. So the other day I headed to the gym to meet up with strength and conditioning coach Rob Watson to get started on my strength and conditioning program. All right, Rob, so yeah, we're here at the gym. Tell me, what's the plan?
So what we're going to do, Ryan, is basically put together a 3 to 4 month plan for a strength training over the winter. The idea behind that is obviously trying to hit in peak form for when he wants to hit the peak form around sort of midsummer time. But obviously the big focus at the minute is focus on mobility, focus on movement quality, and then that moving into strength development and then power development. So whole idea today is we're going to be screening essentially Ryan's movement quality. So we're going to put him through a range of exercises and tests, which will hopefully give us an idea about how he can move, if he's got any imbalances between right leg, left leg, and essentially if he's going to be able to do the exercises that we want him to be able to do. And if not, then we'll be able to give him prescribe some exercises to get him into the right positions to be able to squat properly, deadlift properly, which will help develop that strength and that power later on in the year. Feet about shoulder width apart, arms out straight. I'm just going to come down and then back up again. Try and keep your shoulders back. So with this exercise, what I want you to do is get quite close to the wall, and I want you to try and bend your knee against the wall and see how close you can get. So once we get there, we get to about 5-6 centimetres, move out a couple of centimetres, and then we're going to do the same, see if you can touch the wall, and then we'll see how far you can get. This is going to hopefully just check how strong you are in that movement, and also if you're able to get into the correct movement. So what we're looking for with a split squat is about a 90-degree bend in your right leg, in your front leg and your back leg, so you're not splitting the weight too dominantly on one side or the other. So we're going to ask you to squat down. What I'm going to assess as well is your balance and also the knee position. So if you tend to be a little bit weaker, some people can tend to buckle in a little bit with a bit of knee valgus, which means you've got a bit of a weak glute. What I'm trying to ask you to do here as well is lean forward slightly. You might see a lot of people in the gym trying to keep upright as much as possible, but the problem with that is it puts a lot of pressure through hip flexor and it extends that muscle, and most people are usually tight here as well. So you want a slight movement forward. Again, similar reasons in the squat, you're trying to lean into it, put a lot of weight through that front foot as well. So you're not distributing the weight 50-50, you want to be moving forward. So after testing to date, we've identified a few areas that Ryan can work on. So a little bit of weakness in sort of the right quad due to an old injury. So that'll help us work on that in terms of putting essentially more work through that muscle so we can strengthen it and address that imbalance. The other thing that we're going to work on as well is mobility of the ankles. So there's quite a discrepancy between the left and the right, with one being much more be able to hit a better range of motion than the other. So there'll be some flexibility work there, but also actually some resistance exercise working through that full range of motion, so the strength actually can be applied through the full muscle length as well. What we will do for the first month is, again, identify the key exercises which we're going to do. Most of that will probably be single leg work due to the discrepancy in a couple of areas. There may be a little bit of bilateral work as well, but that'll be more technique focused, so bit of deadlifting and a bit of squatting as well, just so when we actually bring in the deadlifting and the squatting and actually start applying load in 2 to 3 months time, Ryan will be able to do that effectively as well, so he's not going to pick up any injuries because he's got those imbalances. So we address the imbalances first, address the technique, make the technique better, and then we're able to add load to these exercises, make them stronger, make them faster, be able to put out more watts in the sprint, be able to actually resist injury a lot better as well.
So yeah, some really interesting stuff there, finding out a little bit more about my imbalances in my body, especially that right knee and left ankle. Hopefully the plan that he's going to set me over the next few months is going to address those issues that I have, and yeah, be able to deliver greater force through the pedals. That's it for today's video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.